So, hello everyone, and welcome back to STW Sports. And today is the footballing review, and I'm host Samuel Wright, joined by Huddersfield Town fan Tom Safdari. Well, Tom, we don't usually start with the Championship, but we are going to today. A 4-0 victory for Huddersfield over Reading. Fantastic result, and the Terriers are now in the playoff places at this early stage of the season. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I am, Sam. It's a great performance from Town. I was at the game commentating, and it was really the best performance of the season that I've seen from Town. On the front foot, creating lots of chances, dominated the game, and solid at the back, really.
In terms of Huddersfield so far, I mean, obviously, that 5-1 against Fulham, the atmosphere was very down, even though it was the first game back in the John Smith Stadium. That seems to have picked up a little bit now. And is this run could it lead somewhere, do you think, or are you still keeping your feet on the ground at the moment?
I think it's still early days in the Championship, but we've got a few wins together, and that's put us in the playoffs now. So if we keep on building from there with the momentum that we've got from these 3 victories in a row, then who knows where we can go. But it's too early to say that we're going to be in playoffs, etc., or get promoted. It's too early in the season.
Yeah, we're going to touch on the Premier League now, Tom, and it goes from bad to worse for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. 5-0 at the Etihad Stadium.
Yeah.
Just not going well for the Gunners. Bottom of the Premier League table. Who'd have thought that going into the international break?
Yeah, it's been an awful start from an Arsenal perspective. Just so many mistakes at the back, which has cost them each game they played thus far in the season. And they really are shoddy defensively. Attacking threat has been poor as well. They've not offered a lot up front with the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Pepe as well. They've not offered a lot at all. Obviously, they beat West Brom in midweek in the Carabao Cup, but really just got dismantled by Manchester City at the weekend.
I mean, for Man City, though, obviously no strikers coming yet for them, which is what they really needed this summer, you can argue, after the departure of Sergio Aguero. Still a couple of 5-0 wins in their, last 2 games. Do you still think Man City are right up there as title favourites?
Yes, I think you've got to say that they are really. From previous years, they're always there and thereabouts. So last season, they won the league without a out-and-out striker. Aguero was mainly on the bench throughout the season. They used Ferran Torres, De Bruyne, Sterling, Mahrez, etc. as false 9, and it works for them obviously because they won the title. So yeah, they're definitely still the favourites up there with Chelsea and Manchester United for me.
Yep, and a dramatic game at St James Park, a 2-2 draw between Newcastle United and Southampton, a last-minute equaliser from the penalty spot from James Ward-Prowse. Are these 2 teams you're expecting to be down there at the end of the season, or do you think more mid-table?
I'd say more mid-table. Both teams really good going forward. They just really need to sort out the defensive side of things, really, for both teams. Because I watched Newcastle against West Ham, and it was really, really good in the first half, and just defensively let themselves down. In the second half, as West Ham scored 3 goals. So them 2 sides are going to be there or thereabouts in mid-table for me.
With Southampton as well, obviously the departure of Danny Ings, bringing in Armstrong. Do you feel like, they will still cope without Ings, though Southampton obviously lost so many players over the years, but always seem to recover? And you expecting them to maybe, not be in as much trouble this season as you just mentioned?
Yeah, I think they've replaced Ings with Adam Armstrong, so it's still quite early in the season to see if he'll be a like-for-like replacement, as he's never really played in the Premier League. Obviously, he used to be at Newcastle, but he never really featured for the North East side. So, yes, obviously, you'd like to think he can replace the goals that Danny Ings had made for Southampton, but obviously still very early in the season, and obviously if he's hoping to get double figures, I'd say would be his minimum target.
Yep, as for Everton, a good start for them, 7 points from a possible 9, and Rafa Benitez so far is probably on good terms with the Everton fans. A 2-0 win for them at Brighton. What were your thoughts on that?
Really good performance from Everton again. They played well against Southampton at home, and obviously they played another good game against Brighton away. It wasn't comfortable. Brighton had the chances, but Everton were really clinical. And against midweek, they got away one against Huddersfield, and I'm a bit biased, but I watched that game, and they didn't really play fantastic. Obviously, they had the chances like Huddersfield did, but it was just clinical. These last 2 games, they've taken the chance that they've had in front of goal and scored, and obviously it's got them the wins.
I guess one talking point is Damari Gray. Always a frustrating player at Leicester, you can say. Always had the talent, but never really the end product. So far for Everton, though, he's starting to show glimpses of the player he's always been able to become, and he's having an impressive start to the season.
Yeah, he has. He's a threat up front for Everton. Obviously, 1.8 million is going to be a steal, it looks like, from Bayer Leverkusen. So it looks like he's going to have a good season for Everton.
And as for Brighton, are you expecting them relegation battle or mid-table? They've had a good start, 6 points from 9. What are you expecting from Graham Potter's side?
I'm expecting a similar sort of fairy tale from last season, really, towards the bottom half of the table. They need a striker that's going to get them 10, 15 goals, and I don't think they have that. Really, they've got Mope and Welbeck, but they never really got into that sort of category of goals-wise. So I think they are going to struggle unless they sign a top-quality striker.
Yep, and moving on to the London Stadium, West Ham 2, Crystal Palace 2. Palace a little bit written off at the start of the season, understandably so, obviously. Patrick Vieira, very inexperienced, and of course losing so many players who are out of contract. A better result for Palace, though, you'd say, this one away at West Ham.
Yeah, it was good resilience from Palace to come back against West Ham. Obviously, Conor Gallagher at the double. He was a man of the match for Palace for me. It was a great performance from him. But yeah, still Palace is finding their feet under Vieira. So it remains to be seen whether they can avoid the drop this season.
Yeah, and as for West Ham, still a pretty good start for them. Are you expecting David Moyes' side to repeat maybe what they did last season, or are you expecting them to maybe dip a little bit?
I think there may be a dip, but at the moment in time, it's not looking like that's going to be the case with Antonio, Benrahma and Bowen, really potent threat up front for West Ham. But I think they will be there or thereabouts, the top 6, possibly at least the top 8.
Yep, Norwich City back in the Premier League, but so far it's been same old story. Yes, they've had tough fixtures, but zero points from a possible 9. Second bottom, but they were only narrowly beaten by Leicester. But what were your thoughts on this one, and what are your thoughts about Norwich this season?
Obviously, it was a tight game. Norwich just losing to Leicester 2-1 at home, but these are the matches they've got to at least get a point from, if not 3 at home. As the old saying goes, newly promoted side needs to win at home, need to win the home games, and they haven't done that so far this season. Obviously, they've had Manchester City away, Liverpool at home, and now Leicester, top sides. So it's hard to obviously criticise them too much. Obviously, we're against those sorts of teams, but obviously they need to start getting the wins on the board, or they're going to be struggling again this season.
Obviously, as for Leicester, they've had a little bit of a slow start to the season, maybe, but a good result for them here. I mean, 6 points out of 9 isn't really a slow start, but maybe, that 4-1 defeat to West Ham does stand out a little bit. But a good performance from them here, and just about got over the line, and a key 3 points from Brendan Rodgers' men.
Yeah, they didn't play well against West Ham. Very sloppy in the 4-1 defeat. Obviously, they had Perez sent off. That didn't help their cause, but much better performance from Rodgers' side. Obviously, 2-1 win away from home against Norwich is a good result for them.
Yep, and Brentford are adapting to life in the Premier League quite well so far, undefeated in the first 3 games. They certainly have taken that before the start of the season. A 1-1 draw at Villa Park. Do you reckon this is a better result for Brentford?
Yeah, I'd say so. Brentford, obviously, they're favourites to get relegated this season, but need to win the home games. And obviously, they've had a good start. They'll more than be happy with that start they've made this season in the Premier League away from home against Villa. Aston Villa is no easy feat to get a point from there, and they've done really well.
I mean, Ivan Toney and Emi Buendia both scored in this game. Buendia certainly a signing who has caught the eye for Villa fans, it's fair to say, over the summer. Are you expecting a big season from him?
Yes, I am expecting a good season from Buendia. Paid a lot of money for him from Norwich. So I'm expecting him to get at least double figures in the assists and hopefully likewise in goals. But obviously, it's always going to be difficult to place the impact Jack Grealish had on the side, but he is someone that could be a replacement for him.
Yep, and moving into the late kickoff, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. 2 very good teams are expected to be right up there this season. Chelsea showing great resilience in the second half to hang on with 10 men. What were your thoughts on this game overall, though?
I thought it was a great game to watch. I think up until the red card, which kind of killed the game really as a spectacle, I thought it was a harsh decision to send him off, considering the ball deflected off his thigh, Reece James's thigh onto his arm, and I wasn't really sure where else he's supposed to put his arm. So the rules are quite naive nowadays, really. So it was harsh to send him off. Obviously, it was a penalty. It's hit his arm. It's definitely a penalty. But overall, it was a good game to watch, and it was probably a fair result on reflection.
Yeah, with Liverpool as well, obviously, Virgil van Dijk coming back into the team. You've really seen him, he's opening a few games alone, just how important he is. He dealt with Lukaku fantastically on Saturday evening.
Yeah, he nullified the threat from Lukaku. He's always got a lot of strength. Van Dijk, he's a great defender, one of the best in the world, and he proved that against Lukaku. It was really quiet in that game.
Yep, and as for the result going forward, then are these two teams, Liverpool, Chelsea, you think will be up there at the end of the season in the title race?
I think yes, both teams will be up there. More so Chelsea. I think they've recruited really well. I think Liverpool, obviously they're still going to be up there, but I just think Chelsea are more so the title favourites compared to Liverpool this season.
Yeah, fair enough. Now we move into the Sunday game, starting at Turf Moor, 1-1 between Burnley and Leeds. A little bit of a slow start from a Leeds United perspective, just 2 points, I believe, so far from their opening 3 games. Obviously, a late equaliser from Patrick Bamford. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's always tough for any side to go to Burnley and Turf Moor. It's a physical game. It's always going to be a physical game. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be stop-start against Burnley. That's how they like it. They want any side to get into any sort of rhythm, and that proven to be the case for Leeds. So it's a good point for Leeds, really, at Burnley. Obviously, they would have liked 3 to kickstart the season, and as would Burnley. But yeah, it was a good point for both sides.
I mean, as for the two teams in general, where do you see their seasons going, would you say?
I think Leeds can finish top half again. And Burnley, I think they're going to be at the bottom again. They're going to be just pushing their luck above the relegation zone. But I think Sean Dyche will keep them up again.
Yep, and now Tottenham Hotspur, top of the Premier League, I believe, after 3 games, 3 1-0 wins. A great start for Nuno Espirito Santo. He was very much written off when going there, but a 1-0 victory over Watford. And Harry Kane returns to the starting 11, but it was Son Heung-min who stole the headlines with the winner. Yeah,
they've had a good start under Nuno. 3 straight wins and by one goal margin. So it shows they've got a good, solid defence under Nuno. I know there's a lot of criticism about his style of play, but I don't think Spurs fans will care about that as long as they get the wins, which they are doing at the moment, and they're rightly top of the table come the international break. So yeah, it's a really good start from Tottenham this season.
I mean, as for Watford, do you think that relegation battle is certainly the aim for them? Well, not the aim, but certainly where they're going to be this season?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it's Watford, Norwich and Brentford. They're favourites to go down. I think at least 2 of them will go down. I think they'll be Watford and Norwich, potentially. Just from what I've seen so far, Brentford look have had the better of the starts. But yeah, I think Watford will be one of the favourites to go down this season.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And the final game of the weekend came at Molineux, 1-0 to Manchester United. A little bit of a controversial game, you can say, in a way, especially the way the goal went in. A good result for Manchester United, but not the most convincing performance, you'd say.
No, I covered that game. Actually, I was reporting on that game, and it was all Wolves for the majority of the game. Wolves were the better side, and that's the 3rd time this season they've not got what they deserved result-wise. Just struggling to find the back of the net. They've had plenty of chances and just couldn't find that clinical edge. But yeah, Manchester United started off slow in the first half, didn't create much. Had an offside goal through Bruno Fernandes just before half-time. But yeah, that controversial goal through Mason Greenwood, again getting his 3rd goal of the season and in a row. He's had a great start to the season. But yeah, Man United, it's all about picking up the wins at this stage of the season. And most teams will say that's about getting the wins on the board. Performance will come second. So yeah, they've had a good start.
And obviously, as for Wolves, though, the big talking point is their strike force. I mean, Adama Traore, very exciting player, but the lack of end products. And Raul Jimenez, you can't help but feel like he won't be the same player from this moment on due to that horrendous head injury he picked up against Arsenal last year.
Yeah, we'd hope he will be eventually, but obviously there's always going to be that doubt in the back of his mind. Is he going to get injured again? That type of injury, is it going to happen again to him? So yeah, obviously he had his chances to score. He didn't have lots of them. Wasn't really in the game as much as he would have been last season. So he's still finding his form. But yeah, that might be on his mind. It looks like it is on his mind from his performance in the opening games. But hopefully, he can find his feet and form and recapture the form that he had in the past seasons for Wolves.
Yep, and obviously, as for Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo soon to make his debut in the next game after the international break, you'd imagine. What a moment that's going to be. And I mean, for you, does that make United right up there as title favourites, or you think Ronaldo, as good as he is, he might not have the same impact that he did last time he was at United?
I think it will, that they will be up there because of him, but I think where they are going to be potentially come short in or fall short in is the midfield, with the likes of Fred in midfield and Matic. Them two players just don't seem like they can cut it really in the middle of the park. They give the ball away too easily, and that will eventually lead to goals conceded for Manchester United this season. So I think Ronaldo gives them that extra edge. He gives them that, he's a winner, so he knows what it means to win trophies, something Manchester United have struggled in recent times since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club. So I think he's going to give them that extra edge and push to get maybe the title this season, or at least a trophy through the FA Cup.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Who are you giving as your Premier League team of the week as well, Tom, this week? Which team do you think performed the best?
From what I've seen, I would probably say it's got to be Manchester City. It was really a clinical performance against Arsenal.
Yep, and moving into the Championship now, so we've already touched on Huddersfield Town, your team, who did get an impressive win. But other teams in there, I mean, Fulham right now looking very strong. West Brom, I mean, yeah, they left it late to win against Peterborough, but they got over the line in the end, and that's what it's about at this stage of the season. Anyone else in the Championship for you who's looking great this season?
It's tricky really at the moment. It's very early in the season. Just checking the fixtures here. I think QPR, I mentioned them before to yourself. I think QPR have had a good start as well. So I would choose QPR as a team that could be up there in the playoffs coming the end of the season.
Yep, definitely. And obviously, as for the strugglers, Nottingham Forest and Derby played out a 1-1 draw at Pride Park at the weekend. But obviously, probably one of the not worst East Midlands derbies, but one of the most underwhelming in terms of both teams' forms. Looking at League One, Sunderland currently top of the league. Anyone in that division as well, catching your eye so far?
In that side of things, I'd probably say, just checking now, bear with me. I'd probably say, yeah, Sunderland are obviously favourites. They've had a good start. I'd like to think that Bradford City could be up there. So that's League Two. But yeah, I'm hoping to. I'll say Sunderland really. Sunderland are the only team I'd pick out that have had a really good start.
Yep, and looking at the transfer window now, the window closes tomorrow. Any big deals you're expecting to get done within the next few hours?
It's looking like Dan James could go to Leeds United. So that could be a big deal that goes through for Leeds United's perspective. Obviously, Ronaldo coming into Manchester United, that kind of reduces a lot of players' opportunities in the attacking department for Manchester United. So Dan James to Leeds is quite a big deal that could go through. Mbappe, obviously, to Real Madrid. Will that happen? Will it not? Remains to be seen, but time is running out. So hopefully that could go through. That would be an interesting one.
International break coming now. Obviously, the European Championship feels very fresh in the memory as well. So it's going to be quite strange to see an international break coming up. But how much are you excited for the football to return already once it's over?
Yeah, obviously we had the heartbreak with the Euros losing on penalties to Italy. That was tough from an England perspective, but it was a great summer of football overall. We played some great football. England did. So yeah, we're looking to get a good carry on our good form in the qualifiers against Armenia and Hungary as well. So yeah, obviously we've got some fixtures to look forward to that we can hopefully get 3 points in both games. Definitely.
Well, that's all we've got time for today anyway, Tom, but thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you all soon.
Thank you.